to Sarah's table. Pew, pew, pew.
Oh, wow.
So many finger guns everywhere. Bop, bop, bop. It's a very special episode. I realize I haven't said that in a while. I actually
Oh,
haven't said it's a very special episode, even though used to say it all the time and claim that I didn't. It is a very special episode. Um, Hey, everybody. My name is Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. I am going to be your game master facilitator tonight. I'm going to be your favorite person. I'm going to remind you to drink some water because it is weird weather outside. You are probably dehydrated. Or whatever is in your giant stein. Drink whatever.
water.
Or,
Might be water.
like, there's water. It's a component.
There's
Definitely.
definitely water in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, we are going to continue on in The Vanishing Lands, which is a RPG written by Jeff Moore, who is here in this call. I'm pointing this way. He might not be that way on
I
screen.
won't. Oh, I might be. We'll
Ooh,
see. I
ooh.
can be.
Everybody just point everywhere. He's somewhere. He's over in the corner.
Really, the only person that's ever in a fixed spot is you. So as
It's
long as you
me.
stay put, where everybody else
I
is good.
don't know where people are. I just work here. Yeah, we're hand jiving. That's what's
Yeah.
happening.
My
Um,
hand jive will find Jeff.
yeah,
It's
it's the name of
the
this episode.
summoning move. Yeah.
Before we get into the Vanishing Lands, I would like to do a quick safety discussion. I think that's important as a responsible game master and player and human being. Here on Sarah's table, you will never find sexual violence, violence against children, or withholding food as punishment or starvation. I know these guys, and I am fairly certain that there are no other lines because their lines are usually drawn by me. It's
True.
true. All right. If you discover something that is uncomfortable in a surprising fashion, you can throw up an X or you can message me privately and we will go a different direction. Um, but we have a new face at the table, and I'm gonna make him introduce himself. It's you. It's you. Who are
It's
you?
me.
How'd you get
Hi.
here?
Hi. I'm in my own home. I'm in my own home, so I got here the way I
Weird.
always do.
Huh.
Uh, Hi, my name is Jimmy Keating. Sarah refers to me as Buick.
It's true.
So you may hear a couple of different names here today. I am a human being.
Oh,
My pronouns are he, him. I am a game enjoyer and enthusiast, firefighter, paramedic, and a budding member of the gaming community. That's it. I'm
the
here and
gaming,
I'm ready to party.
the creating of
The
the games
creating of a
community.
games community. Yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah. We're gonna talk about that
I'm
later.
also friends with the two of you. And I
Yeah.
think that's Yes.
Yes.
extremely important. Yeah.
Yeah, we have known you a bit. Buick
A
is one
bit.
of our home group for D&D and other games.
True.
We
Mhm.
keep doing offshoots of other games that we are also playing.
True.
The
Yeah.
Buick.
I was
Yeah.
introduced to the two of you by my beautiful, stunning, amazing, incredible, wonderful wife. Who's watching in the other room, apparently. Yeah,
Just
definitely. She's
just
definitely
barely just off camera. Just
and currently rolling her eyes, going like, "Oh, jeez."
oh God, stop
Tapping her
talking
toe.
about me. Yeah, one day we'll maybe get her on stream, but
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe. I wouldn't hold your breath for it, but
I'm not
maybe.
holding my breath. I'm not. All right. What about you, Jeff? I decided to ask you while
That's
you were
me.
drinking.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Thank
Hey,
you.
everybody. My name's Jeff Moore, he, him. I am a filmmaker and video producer, multimedia designer by trade. And most recently, I am a self-published game designer. We're playing The Vanishing Lands today, which you
Whoop,
can
whoop.
find out more about at thevanishinglands.com or via Instagram at The Vanishing Lands
Your local grocer's freezer.
and your local grocer's freezer,
Good. Right next to True Moo.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's right there.
probably.
It's
Yeah.
right there.
We probably
Um,
shouldn't put milk in the freezer. That might be too cold.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
guess it depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm
Never
just
know.
I'm just hoping it become ice cream because it's cheaper.
Right?
Oh yeah, smart.
Mhm.
Hadn't thought
I
of
don't
that.
think you could just freeze milk and then it's close enough. It's dairy.
You got your
Don't rush
cream,
with
you got your
yeah,
ice.
yeah.
Seems
You know,
good.
people called a lot of crazy inventors insane before they made their great inventions. You know what I
That's
mean? Like
true.
True.
if I go out there and I say buy milk, put it in the freezer, you have ice cream, and it works, I disrupt the whole socioeconomic powers, you know?
Wow.
Then you could add disruptor to your line of accolades.
Ooh.
Yeah, which would be good. It needs it.
And
I'm not
it's
doing
missing
enough.
something.
Yeah.
Not enough destruction in my background. All right. I was about to call on you again, Jeff. You every time I want
Yes.
to ask you
What?
specifically for something, you're drinking. Um,
I've stopped.
I've stopped. Could you please give us the elevator pitch for the Vanishing Lands in case folks did not watch last episode?
Yeah, sure. So The Vanishing Lands is a collaborative storytelling and world building game. Heroic role playing and collaborative world building is what the book says. Um, Basically, it is the RPG that I would like to play basically forever, because it allows the table to create it's your own land to play in and then create characters and have a pretty easy to remember system to play to do all the stuff. Um, the short version of the setting information is that it is a it's a plane of existence where all the places that disappear go. So you've heard stories of Atlantis or Shangri-La or Brigadoon or places like that. Or like even Oz, right? You get carried off and the tornado is a planar portal to send you to the vanishing lands, and suddenly all your stuff is there. Um, and your world turns upside down, or it has been there for a long time, and that you've learned how to deal with it. The real perk of that is that really the setting will support kind of any type of game you want. If you want to play high fantasy, or you want to play like a cyberpunk kind of thing, or you want to do a noir detective story, you can do it all in here because you're building it. And the tool set is designed specifically to make it easy for you to just kind of spin around the table a few times, and boom, you've got a place to play. Do it a couple more times, boom, you've got characters, you're off to the races. That's the hope.
Okay.
That was a long elevator ride.
It's a really long elevator.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a tall building,
Top of the tower.
super
Yeah,
tall.
totally.
Um, I'm just gonna sum up a little. The Vanishing Lands have not always been here. Less than a century, that's a word. Less than a century ago, beings of several different planes of existence suddenly found themselves and the land on which they lived instantly transported through time and space to come to rest on a new, previously uninhabited plane, an occurrence that became known as the Appearance by those who lived through it. There's more here, the very beginning of the book, but the ending of it, which is sort of
Jeff
the
Moore.
Jeff Moore here.
Very
The
beginning.
the tagline of the game is "How far will you go to be a hero?" Because it is about a little bit about resource management, being able to sort of dig deep and figure out how much of your extra oomph you are going to be putting into all of the things that you are doing. And with that in
Mhm.
mind, we are going to create a land. Now, last week, Jeff was on with AJ McLean, and we created one land, which is called Rhythm, which got real weird. Was sort
This
of
is
a
fantastic.
yeah, sort of a combination of like if there was a musical and also a very creepy fairy tale that sort of had a baby in a land where you can't have babies anymore.
Yep.
Yeah,
All that makes sense.
all of
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Um,
it's
and
real stuff.
so what we are going to do for when we play in it is we are going to make the land that is on the other side of the sentient forest. So that sentient forest that we created last time links Rhythm and this land that we are making today. So we have the option of sort of staying in that same vein, or we have the option of going wildly in another direction and seeing what happens. All right. So, world building. Oh. All
Ooh.
right. So, there are four quadrants that we need on our paper. You do not have to use the paper. You do not want to.
Zip
But the
paper.
zip paper. The first thing we're going to
Zip
do
paper.
is the points of interest. So I'm gonna to help our audience, or perhaps folks who were not here last time, I'm going to read the points of interest from the previous land so that we can sort of get an idea. So we had a sentient forest, an abandoned great manor on a hill, densely packed Main Street, the Whispering Stone, Serpent Falls, and an ancient alarm bell on top of an impossibly tall spire. So I am going to say that the sentient forest is there. That'll be the first one. And
Cool.
So does anybody have an idea for the next one? We each get to contribute two, so we're going to go around in a circle.
Something we did not do last time, which is usually part of the conversation, I just didn't mention it, is do we want to come up with a concept together before we start adding stuff, or do we want to just add things and let the vibe emerge as we go?
Well, last time we definitely just let the vibe emerge, so.
Right. So is that sort of a choice we can make here? If we're cool with that, we can just do that again.
I say let chaos reign.
All right.
Great.
Let the vibes happen.
Cool. Well, I'm happy to go next.
All right. Go get
ahead, bud.
Let's say that this place has I think there's a really tall, like, residential building. Like one that's the tallest.
Like a tower.
Yeah, like a skyscraper. I don't know if it's like, we'll decide later if it's like a modern sort of like condos and apartments kind of thing, or if it's just a tall tower. But I think people live in this tower. I just don't know how many people live in this tower.
Cool. All right, Buick, what you got?
I would say going off the tower vibe, and like if this is a section like continuing off that sentient forest, and then we have this high residential area, I would say there's like nurseries of birds high up in the trees, and it's like a area in which, because there was so much upward building, that the skies there are clear, so it's kind of a habitat for like nursing of birds that would migrate to this area.
Interesting.
Great.
Okay. I think that there is a limited subway system, because
Limited.
I think when it
Oh, sure.
when it disappeared, it didn't take the whole city, so it didn't take the whole subway system.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So it just like butts up into like a dirt wall at one like each end.
Yeah.
There's a very confused conductor. It's like, what the heck?
I gotta turn around now.
The end of the line, folks.
Yes.
Apparently.
It's been 2 stops.
This is what we got. I think like you can get around most of it, but they're just like, it just like ends on each end in a really just like somebody cut it off.
That's awesome.
Okay. So then to extend that, I'm going to say that there's some sort of industrial facility that was straight up just cut in half. I think that there's like, it's like half of Axis Chemicals, right?
Yeah, totally.
Half a chemical
half
plant.
of a chemical plant. Yeah. So that was the image that went in my head. I
Uh-huh.
obviously wanted it to be something that wasn't exactly that, but
Get
some sort
it?
of chemical something.
Yep.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Uh, Building on that, I would say there is a interconnected PA system throughout the entirety of the area with an emphasis on like clear comms.
Hmm.
Kind of building off of the antithesis of last week. This is like an area in which silence is golden kind of
Oh,
thing.
interesting.
So there's an area in which certain members of Rhythm, if they breach into this territory, are not so welcome.
Because they're like, everyone's like, shut up.
So is it like a quiet zone? Is that what we're
Kind of,
talking
yeah,
about?
kind of like there's a PA system to be like right now, like issuing curfews, issuing moments of
Hmm.
silence, like because we need to work. Like there is work to be done here.
Got it. So since
Hmm.
we're doing points of interest, is there like a broadcast tower or a broadcast center that like where they
Yeah.
do that from?
I think
Maybe?
so. Like either the P system or a broadcast tower that it all comes out
That
from.
does the PA
Yeah,
system.
Okay.
I think
Cool.
broadcast tower works super well.
So I was thinking of PA system as like a series of speakers and like wires and things, and it like
Yeah.
maybe I
Sort of
wasn't.
both, probably.
No, I get that, but I honestly vibe with what you're saying of like
Yeah.
having like a centralized location that's like that controls sound almost.
Yeah.
That's where the person goes and hits the button to talk to
Yeah.
start the
And
yeah.
it's like, shut up. It's
Yeah,
time.
shut up. Tell those
Ixnay.
dancing weirdos to leave.
So why are they here? I thought the forest was supposed to keep them out. Um, all right. So we're moving on to the second quadrant, which is key figures. Um,
Hmm.
all right. So in the last place, in rhythm, we have a healer that lives at the base of Serpent Falls, a family of 12 who run a musical restaurant. Uh, AJ's
So
character
cool.
is one of the 12 who runs the musical restaurant. We
Love
have
that.
Grimelda the Bake Witch. We have an avatar of the forest. We have we have a monkey who runs the town and its interpreter. This is where
Forgot about the
things
Yes.
monkey.
this is where
So
things
far
started
everything
to get weird.
so far
Um,
everything makes sense.
so yeah. And then we have the janitors, which is the like enforcers and peacekeepers of the town. So key figures. Um, I went first last time. I'm going to have Buick go first this time.
Dang.
Oh, dang.
I will call so I can do a group, right? I
Hmm.
can do like a group of individuals.
Yes.
Yes.
Um I will do let me think of a good name. I really want to say Clock Stoppers, but that's a really bad movie from back in the day. I don't know if anyone remembers it. Uh but I also want to say Timekeepers, but that sounds way too high fantasy.
Mm.
Uh I'm gonna say Clock Watchers.
Okay.
And they are a group of individuals with thick glasses that cannot be penetrated through. You can't see their eyes.
Mm.
And they are a group of folks that go around ensuring that everyone is keeping the proper time of their task. So, like,
Oh.
are you at work? Okay, great, you're at work. You have your 15-minute bathroom break, and then you must go on the subway to go home. You must have your ready-made meal. Then you can go to bed at 8:45. Uh,
Oof.
Wow.
and I think the idea of time for the clock watchers is coming from the time that got transported to this land. So like there were
Okay.
clocks in this land, and those are almost treated as like not like holy points, but like those are sacred. Like the clock, that's the only thing that we have that is a rules system from
Mm.
our previous
Got it.
realm. That is something that we have to follow.
Okay.
Make a note of that for when we get to assets and artifacts.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun
I
there.
love that.
No,
No,
no.
it's great.
I've established a vibe. I'm sorry.
No,
I
this
got
is a
that.
good vibe. We like it. All right, Jeff, second key figure, please.
So you have to have the rebellious youths,
Yes.
Sure.
right? So
Youths.
I think there is
Youths.
a I think there's a group called the Zip Pops, and
Zip Pops G.
Golly.
they're like a they're like a they're like a motorcycle gang, but like they don't have the resources to like keep all their stuff up from the old days. So like they still have all their stuff, but like it doesn't really work really well.
They have to like
Maybe a
walk
couple
their
of them are kind of getting
motorcycles.
older too, right? Like, yeah, they're like, I'm thinking of like bright neon colors, right? They like dye their hair and do the
Yeah.
mohawks and everything. They're like
Hmm.
flashy, be seen, disrupt the status quo kind of
Yeah.
people. Zip
They
pops,
they definitely don't follow the rules of the clock.
No,
right?
definitely not.
My note was neon disruptors.
It's a good
Perfect.
band name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think first key figure that I am going to contribute is I think I threw that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Have another one. I think there is a librarian,
Mm,
and I think she's specifically a children's librarian.
cool.
Um, I think her name is Darla,
Cool.
and everyone calls her Miss Darla because she's one of those like truly like really loves her job and like is very good at it and like um probably knows all of the children that have been around since the vanishing because she's a safe space
Cool.
Mhm.
and also was very probably very good at like uh, helping people find knowledge after they had vanished here and like trying to connect the right people. So I think she's a bright spot in the
It's
I
great.
think like even like the clock watchers give Miss Darla grace if she is running over with something
Yeah.
because
Oh,
she's
yeah,
just
for
like,
sure.
yeah.
We have one nice thing here,
Yeah.
And it's
and it's
her.
her.
Yeah. Even like the clock watchers, like they take a back step and they
Like,
chill out for a sec. They're like,
yeah, you're
she's
right.
running late, but it's okay.
It's
Like
cool.
she's all right.
She's good.
Mhm.
She's got bad knees, guys.
She's,
Yeah.
she's always getting down on the ground with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, give her a second. All right. Hopping back
Love it.
over to you, Buick, for our next key figure.
I want Pops, the kindly window washer
Yes.
who always knows the hot goss.
Ooh.
Because he's like on every level of like every building. So, and he's just a window washer. Like nobody, and he's not like nefarious. He just hears everything.
Yep. Because
So,
because he blends into the background.
yeah, he's just
Mhm.
there.
Here's a question. Do you think that Pops was one of the people that got magic when he came? And that's maybe why he's like the only window washer, is that he can like,
He just like floats and he's like, just here to clean.
yep,
He's got a little bucket and he's like, just ignore me.
yep.
I mean, nobody knows who like pays him. They're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we don't ask questions. We got clean windows. I mean,
Right. I feel
yeah,
good about it.
definitely. Yeah, Pops definitely has magic.
Cool.
That's awesome.
All right. Jeff,
Hmm. Yeah. It's me, isn't it?
it's you.
Okay. I think there is a, I don't know what we're creating here, but I love it. I
It's
think,
weird. It's definitely a different vibe from last time.
Super
yeah, yeah.
different vibe.
So I think that there's a place where everybody goes like to eat. There's like a diner downtown, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And there is a waitress who is like she just kind of knows what you want,
Mm.
right?
Yep.
Totally.
Um, I think that, but here's the kicker. She's really good at knowing what you want, but she has like the worst personality. So
Oh,
like you have to be willing to put up with her nonsense because she's always right. She knows
Yeah.
exactly what you want.
Yeah.
do you have a
Her
name for her
name
yet? Okay.
is Tammy
Ooh, great start.
um Tammy Bridger. And I don't
Ooh,
think her name
Tammy
she
Bridger.
like I don't know that her last name ever comes up because her little name tag
Because her name
says
tag just
Tammy.
says Tammy.
She's a
Yeah, that's all
Tammy.
that
Right.
And
matters.
nobody
Yeah.
wants to talk to her more to find
No,
out.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. And I think that the last key figure. Mm, 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 mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I think to help weave even more in, since we had the sentient forest as a point of interest, I think that the last key figure is that avatar of the forest. The forest like can create a fetch. Um,
Mm.
and I think that most often that manifests on this side of the forest, up in the bird habitats. Like I
Where the
think it
nature is.
yeah, it'll like send it up out of the
Totally.
like top canopy of the trees to like check on the birds and stuff. So,
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
So I know it's an avatar of the forest, but as these things spend time not fully as part of the forest, do they
mhm.
develop their own like personalities and stuff? Like, are they
Yeah,
the forest plus themselves?
yeah, I think
Mm.
so. So like I think that whenever it sends it out, it has like it like left a little bit of it on it from the last time. Not a ton, I think. But I think that this particular forest is maybe also connected to two other places, um, like cardinal direction kind of thing. And so, like,
Yeah.
it can
Mm.
send itself out to any of the four. And so we are building the two that are like, like east and west kind of a thing. Um,
Got it.
uh, so I think that there are definitely times when, depending on what bits of the forest, because most of the bits of the forest that it uses is what's close to
Hmm.
that place. And so it would sort of take on characteristics of that area. But as we all know, in nature, birds and small animals carry stuff. It gets spread around, and so you might end up with a little bit of a different society in that
Yeah,
avatar when it
I
comes
feel
out.
like in this area, it's almost as if like it has uprooted the forest and the
Hmm.
birds are the only things that can penetrate that like very corporate structure we have going on so far.
Yeah.
Much like pigeons in like a city, like those are the only things that go on. But
Hmm.
also like in like downtown Chicago is peregrine falcons, which are
Yep.
like
Yeah.
one of the rarest and like most penetrating in terms of speed birds. So
Yep.
that avatar can like weave its way through without kind of being caught.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I also think I'm working on the assumption that that sentient forest is a previously vanished land, that
Mm,
these
cool.
two other ones have like
Popped up
smushed
next to it.
between.
Too, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Love that.
and I mean that's like a person, like your city appeared on a person's foot
Yeah.
because the forest is sentient. And it was
Ah,
like, what the crap?
get
Like,
off my foot.
you're hurting me. And there's no one on the other foot. This sucks. This place sucks.
Ah.
Oh God. All right. So we are moving to quadrant 3, which is
Three.
common creatures. Last week's common creatures were hallucinogenic beetle swarms,
Hate those.
drug bugs,
Drug
Sure.
bugs.
7 lion, tiger, bear, snake beings,
Cool.
which we discovered
Terrifying.
was because the forest knows what you want, and children were coming up with scary monsters, and then they made them.
That's pretty dang scary.
Pretty scary. Feral, pygmy, vampire, goblins. Thank you, Jeff.
Mhm.
That was
Oh,
for
no
you.
way, really?
Yeah. Surprise. Uh, the brindle, which is like a wraith-like boogeyman type creature, created by the forest. Warring choreography gangs. That took a hard turn from the
Boring.
previous.
I thought you said boring.
Boring.
I was like,
Ooh,
huh?
that would be much worse as boring choreography
Boring
games.
choreography
I've
games.
seen a few of those in my day, and they're
Yeah.
not fun.
Ooh, obligation theater choreography games.
Yeah.
And then the last one is
Psychic attack.
the fastest horses around trademarked.
Mhm.
I bet the fast horses could give the rickety motorcycles a run for their money.
Perhaps.
They
Small
just go.
chase.
They just go into that area, get the horses, and then just like spray paint them to look like motorcycles.
They're like, come on,
And they're just like
please.
vroom vroom, and the horse is like,
Attach handlebars to
yeah,
the saddle.
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
stop, please stop.
This is the
Beautiful
worst.
creature of nature.
Um, Jeff, you are starting out this round with a
I
common
am?
creature, please.
You
All right.
are.
Well,
What?
you know what cities have are big rats. So these are real big rats.
Like
Real
dire
big
Like,
rats? ROUS
yeah.
size rats?
Yeah, like
Yeah, rats of unusual size.
don't be caught in an alley with one by yourself.
Woof.
Kind of
Mm.
size.
All right.
Big
Big,
suckers. We can call them dire rats.
big giant
I think
rats.
I think real big rats is way cooler than dire
Real big
rats.
rats.
Yeah, real big
Great.
rats.
That's what they call
You
them.
don't think that's a little like ska band?
RBR.
Giddy up! It's the real big rats.
They call them Reavers, real big rats.
Real big rats.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll
Getting there.
workshop it.
Real big rats TM.
The real big rats got a PR problem.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really need someone to just tell them where they're going.
All right. So I think the second common creature is okay.
Okay. Nope.
Ready.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm pulling my chute. I'm out
Pulling the
already.
plug. I'm out. I think that there are independent shadows that like can move around and like do stuff.
Mm,
Um, I don't know that they are inherently like malicious, but I do think that the clock watchers probably hate them
yeah.
because like I think that they like certainly don't follow the laws of where the sun is and like timing and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I think
Yeah,
that they're
totally.
like they're sort of I also think maybe rich folk would maybe have them as pets.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like there are definitely
gross.
like stray shadows.
Yeah.
But
I
I
think like
think
I think having stray shadows in like a densely populated area is at like one point really cool and another point very spooky.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, could be very terrifying, but also could just be like how people view like stray cats, like, well,
Yeah, totally.
like some people are like, oh, look at the cats, and some are like, God, another cat, cool,
Yeah.
like, so like I don't think that they are dangerous, more dangerous than like a small domesticated animal could be. So like could
Mm,
be bad, but like most
yeah.
often is not. All
As long
right.
as you leave them alone, they'll
Leave them
mostly
alone.
leave you alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
sure,
like
there's
them.
probably going to be a one or two that's going to be all up in your business,
Sure.
Yeah.
but all right. Buick.
I think there are tricksy changelings.
Hmm.
I think we've kind of gotten such a like kind of a rigid structure and we have bits of independence going on. And
Hmm.
I think there are changelings that like messing with your clock watchers and your bosses, mini bosses, overseers, yada yada yada,
Yeah.
corporate structures. And or they kind of stand up for the oppressed, where it's like
Hmm.
someone's asleep at their desk. The Trixie Changeling will kind of come in and just like talk to a boss at a water cooler. That way it looks as if they're
It
doing
looks
their
like they're doing
job
it.
to protect
Hmm.
someone.
Is were they here? Are they
I think they
since the vanishing or were
no,
they prior?
I think they were before, and then they've gotten in this area and saw so much room for mischief that
Mm.
they enjoyed this area in which they could kind of mess with structure and
Hmm.
like stand
Hmm.
up to authority. So they kind of creeped in from somewhere else. Like they are not native
Cool.
to this land.
Cool. All right.
Great.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Just you.
Common creatures. We've got real big rats. We've got independent shadows. We've got tricksy changelings,
Chain link.
chainlinks. Um,
It's really tricksy. Just over there
uh,
like a fence.
we've got subway snakes.
Great.
Hate them.
Are they
Yeah,
big? Are they
I
regular
don't know.
size Great.
I don't know. I
Well,
think
well,
that we're
dude,
gonna find out.
we just don't know. Yeah, we might.
I just wrote it down and I wrote Subway snacks and
Ooh, also good. I like that.
Cookies, $2 churros, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
man,
Yeah.
I'm in. That sounds better than the
Bag of
snakes.
sun chips.
Yeah, actually, let's just get rid of
If
Jeff's
we could
answer
just
and
Hmm.
let's just say Subway snacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
erase
so
mine.
much better.
Unless they're like gummy snakes and then we have the best of both worlds, you know?
Ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they
big
are.
fan.
They're not.
We haven't developed that.
They're not. All right, one
One
more
is
common creature. Ba ba beep ba 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 ba.
two more. Oh, one more for you.
One more for me. I think that there is also, let's see where else we are going here. Oh,
I don't
all
know if that's good
right.
or bad.
It's bad. Okay.
Great.
Yes. Oh, I love bad. Bad is so good.
I think that when the vanishing happened and it cut in half, I think that there are a small band of half people
Ooh,
who
that's not
still
fun.
are functioning.
Whoa.
Mm-mm.
This one's way creepier than the last one.
Yeah.
And I
There
think
was
that
dance
they
gangs. Let's go
dance
back to the dance
gangs.
gangs.
I think that they have very mild, like how like people say when you have to amputate a limb that you get like phantom limb stuff.
Yeah.
I think they
Sure.
have a mild understanding of what is happening with their other half.
Uh, hmm.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
Only when it's very intense, I think. They can't like feel it all the time, but I think when something very intense is happening to that side of their body, I think they can like feel it.
Way ho. That's very cool.
That's
Blah.
wild.
But I'm into it.
They're halflings. Oh, it's bad. It's the worst
Ooh.
kind of halflings.
In a way,
But the halflings used to be like such a fun little race to think of.
it would be
And
fun
like,
if like they were these scary phantom half people, but they were still just like, let's go to the Green Dragon.
ba ba da ba da.
They do
All
love
right.
a party.
Do
Yeah,
love
they
a
do.
party. All right. All right. Buick, round us out. What's the last common creature?
The punch card.
The pu-
Uh, and
punch card.
and it is a sentient machine that punches you out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. Is there just one, or is there one in every work establishment?
I feel like people think there are many, but there also might just be one.
Is it like a hive mind, or like how the
Yeah, so like
that one forest is like all one tree? It just has all the roots connected. Is it like that sort of?
yeah, in a way, and as if like it is a piece of machinery that can almost like pop up in multiple places. It may at some point be just one thing, but it also can be many things.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
They are. It is Legion.
it is Legion, and it punches you out. That's
and
what it
it's
does.
self like it's like self-aware.
Yep.
Great.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
This is a
I'm
dangerous
imagining
place.
a lot of moving parts, like like the pull chain of like an old punch card machine.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Hmm.
imagining very like rusted metal moving parts that kind of like crab-like movement as it kind of like its
Mm-hmm.
way
Mm-hmm.
around and it finds you and it
Oh.
punches you out and whatever that means to you. Uh,
Hmm.
but I think there's a very clear way it's meant
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when you punch out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Um,
scary.
yeah, it's scary.
Yes,
It
it
reminds me a
is.
little bit of the cleaner from Labyrinth.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it's got that vibe.
Cool.
Great.
All right, we are moving on to our last quadrant for this section. And it is assets and artifacts. So the assets and artifacts from last week are the Siren's Voice, the title, the Janitor's War Brooms, drug nets
Hmm.
for catching the beetles,
Sure.
masks,
Mhm.
and highly sought after footwear
Ooh, very good.
because of the dance gangs. Seems like a much nicer place to live. Okay,
I love that they're
assets and
neighbors.
artifacts. I know.
Yeah.
Let's buy the creepy sentient forest.
Yep.
Um, okay, I think the first asset slash artifact, I think that everybody wears a time card,
Yeah.
like a really solid metal time card.
Like a dog tag
Oh,
kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
yeah. Into that.
All right. Buick, asset, artifact. What you got?
Um, I'm gonna call it Marty's Pocket Protector.
Hey.
And what it does is it protects your pockets from the outside in. So it's almost as it's like an anti-theft device, but
Okay.
also
Mm.
like an anti-intrusion device. So the clock watchers or any other creature that's like trying to get into your business or just like inherently like just trying to pick your pockets, like it's almost like something that just keeps you protected from interference. I wouldn't say it's like a shield that blocks things out, but like when someone's trying to get into your personal space or
Yeah,
doing these things, like the Marty's pocket protector kind of like alerts you to it, and you get like a second to prepare for something almost.
interesting.
Cool. I like that.
Jeff, Jorf.
Sure.
It's me. Um, okay. I think that something that must be fairly common here is like I was going to say like a personal timekeeper, but if they have people who do this, like they probably don't have like good watches, right? They
Mm-hmm.
must have um I think that there's a series of like linked clocks that are they're just like all networked together
Mm,
somehow,
cool.
technologically or magically or whatever. Like that's the official clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
scooped that
I
from
think,
you.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we
totally. Yeah. No,
um
that was the vibe we were going for.
I think it's the capital clock
Yeah.
and it's linked to all of them.
Cool.
Uh, I think I think that there is uh an item that everybody has heard of, but nobody has officially ever seen. It's like one of those items of legend kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it is like the master calendar.
Ooh.
Like that the clock watchers are all trying to keep everybody on a schedule for this thing that is going to happen that is in the master calendar.
Yeah.
Um,
Creating like Microsoft Office, the game.
Yeah. I think it would be
yeah,
super cool though, like if like because they are torn out from their world though, that like what it
Whatever
is
was going to happen
whatever.
is just yeah,
It's
it doesn't
probably,
matter.
yeah, it
Like
doesn't
yeah, they're
matter. But they're
yeah.
like,
Much
that's
much
it. They're
like most
like,
corporate structures. Yeah.
yes, they're like so stuck on it because that is what they
Mhm.
had been
That's all
doing for
they
so
know.
long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think it also feels like sort of like Aztec calendar, Mayan calendar, kind
Totally.
of
Yeah.
Hmm.
Has
like
that.
there's this thing that they are trying to go toward, but they
Yeah.
don't know what it is anymore because it's been
Love it.
taken from them.
This whole place has big existential crisis energy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
totally.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that says about us,
We made
but
a monkey the mayor last time, so like I think we have a brand.
all right.
Yeah, we went for one vibe and now we're just like, what else can we
Yeah.
explore? We're all
Pendulum
multifaceted beings here, you know?
pendulum swings back. All right, Buick, what is your last asset and or artifact?
The bag of birdseed and shiny things.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It's a bag of birdseed and shiny things.
Yeah,
I think that for most in terms of like this corporate structure, the birds are seen as a nuisance. So
sure.
this can be either be used as something to distract and deter the birds that kind of this like natural way of life that's getting in the way, or it
Mhm.
can be used as something to navigate those paths through this world because the birds can just get everywhere and go see all these different things.
Um, this reminds me of a very true story of SeaTac
Very true
International
story.
Airport. There is a red hawk that comes in and just like tries to fight the planes. And so every couple of months, they have to like catch the same red hawk. It is tagged and they drive like miles and miles and they drop it off
So
in the
cool.
forest. And then it just like
It just
makes
beelines
its
its way
way
Finds
back.
its way
back.
back.
So cool. Birds rule.
So that is exactly what it made me think of. Like, all right, like
Yeah.
maybe we just
I
have
think
this
like, and
bag
that's
of birdseed
what
and
you can
shiny
use it for.
things.
You can
Come
use
on,
it to keep them out of your way, or you can use them to get in tune with that world,
to get in,
which is
yeah,
slowly encroaching on this one.
and then you can go fight a plane.
And then you can go find a plane.
You
Sure.
want if you want to fight a
It would
plane.
be so sick if there's like half of a plane in this world. Just that like most things got cut in half and it's just half of a plane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
And the
think there's
birds just like
absolutely
dive bomb it
like
every day.
I think there's like a partial subway car
Yeah,
Certainly.
definitely.
like
Yeah.
down there that they were just like, I mean, I guess that's the end. Just leave that there. I guess
Yeah.
it's like sticking out of the side of a mountain. Um, all right, Jeff, bring it home. Asset artifact.
Okay. Um, I think that there is a type of, I don't know if it's a weapon, but it's a tool for sure that the clock watchers use called the second hand.
Oh,
Mhm.
And that's all I'm going to say about
What a great big alley oop we've done here.
it.
Just I'm just teeing it up and you're just slamming it down.
just slamming
Mm,
it down.
it's good stuff.
All right, so I would like to ask the same three questions that we answered for the other land to sort of mirror.
Right.
Mm.
Um, so the first question that I'm going to have Buick go first. What
Okay.
does this place desperately need?
Pass.
Pass. No, thank you. While you're thinking, I can
Yeah.
remind people what last week's was. The answer was repopulation because there are no children here
Mm.
in Rhythm, which was very funny because of the name of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uh, I would say a break to the quo, a break to the status quo.
Mm,
And even if the
needs to be
land
shaken up.
or the powers that be don't know that, that is what's needed here. I think we kind of been like flirting with that idea of this like stagnancy
Hmm.
that's been
Hmm.
going on because they're just like working their way towards this ultimate goal that
That is not
might
relevant
matter or
Might
anymore.
be
might
nothing.
not,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
So there just needs to be a like when your boss it's just like we're going to talk about synergy. It's just like changing everything that's going on. Like even if it's that, if it's their way of doing that, or if it's the youths
The
and the dance
They
gangs coming
desperately
in,
need disruption.
they desperately
desperately
need
need
disruption.
disruption.
Yeah,
All
a break
right.
to the status quo. That's what's needed.
Um, Jeff, the main source
Yeah.
of fuel, the thing that is fueling the other town, is bartering and trade. That is how they like make their town go. What is the fuel source over here?
I think if we're going to interpret it similarly, which is I think the right thing to do, um, I think their greatest resource is time
Hmm.
Mm,
and the way that they manage their time. Like it's their entire economy is built around it. Nobody, I think, knows exactly what anybody does, but they know it's getting done when it's supposed to get done.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The other one was why would an outside force want to conquer this place? And the other land has very skilled, highly skilled artisans and a market that works really well. And so the thought was that people might want to come in and sort of infiltrate that and take all of their artisans. I think that this particular place, um, I don't think it has anything to do with the land or the people in it. I think that it is when it landed here, I think that it is over like a bunch of mines with precious stones in them that have
Cool.
magic. Like I think that there is like just like seven dwarfs mine down there, just like
Yeah.
full of magical
Land.
stones.
It got good land.
Yeah. Yep.
I bet, and like it would be rad if the like machinery that the half machinery that landed in here just kind of like adapted to it and was
Yeah.
using those natural resources to fuel it.
Yeah,
So it doesn't know
absolutely.
when it
Yeah.
doesn't know what it's got. It's just like, no, we got a stable energy source. Yada yada yada.
Yep.
Everything's working. We don't know why.
Yeah.
Seems to be okay.
The people that were in charge of that aren't here anymore, so
Right.
we're just hoping it keeps working.
I think there's probably only a couple of them left that were like the scientists from the chemical plant. And I think some of them are only half left.
Ooh,
hmm
yeah, way
So,
ho.
like,
I forgot about those freaky weirdos you made.
And the half chemical plant.
Yeah,
okay.
we made a weird thing, guys.
hmm This is
Yeah.
my surprised face.
Yeah.
It's not weird. It's fine. Okay, now we each get to come up with the three truths of this world. Um, the three truths that we discovered for the other place is the forest knows what you want, children stop production, and everybody here has a bed for the night.
Mm.
So these are three statements that are always true, no matter what is going on in this world. As long as you are in this land that has vanished and reappeared here, this is a true statement. Jeff, I'm going to make you go first.
Okay. I've been playing around with the idea of time here. And I think, especially since there's magic here that people can tap into, I think that one of the truths about this land is that time never stops.
Mm,
Cool. Yeah. I think that's just a good one. That's
yeah,
just,
For better or for worse, it's
yeah.
time marches on, you
Hmm.
know.
yeah. I think the second truth is the shadows will appear at the most inopportune time.
Love that.
Most inopportune
I don't
Time.
know what the most
times.
opportune time would be for a stray sentient shadow, but
Right
it's,
now.
it's
Well, we want we wouldn't know because
it'll never
it'll never come.
happen. I feel like that's when you're like, boy, it would be great if a shadow showed up right now, just all the
Yeah,
time.
seriously. Yeah.
Trying to like
Just
not.
winking, being like, yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, I love it. Um,
I think there's always a place to hide.
ooh,
Much
I
like
like
Ooh,
working
that.
in a big office, like there's always some place you can go that no one's gonna find yet.
there's
Lot,
always a place to
lot of
hide.
supply closets.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like
So many.
useless rooms, like just like here's our secondary meeting room in case there's a meeting in the first meeting room. Like just nothing.
Yes.
All right, well, the only thing that we have now to do for the land itself is to
Burn it, destroy it,
just
get rid of it.
tear this out of my just just crumple it up, throw it over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Name
Mhm,
it. We
mhm.
have a name for this land.
Uh,
Go
we
ahead.
are kind of building this as sort of an like anti-corporate, as like a corporate satire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a little. Oh,
what if
really?
what if it was called something like Synergy?
Yeah, like Synergy LLC.
Yeah,
It's got an LLC around
as
it.
Yeah.
like the name of the sit. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. could not be more different than the Warren Dance Kings land.
It makes a lot of sense why they would maybe be at odds with each other or
Yeah,
want
totally.
something from each
Why?
other.
That's so weird.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, we have done it. I
We did
think
it.
this
Woo!
is a really excellent place to take a quick little bio break to really
Awesome.
let this land seep into us.
Oh, I'd
Blech.
I'd rather
No,
not.
thank you. Yeah, no, thank you.
Well,
No,
you
thank
have
you.
to,
Oh, dang.
because I'm in charge. So, this is what. Oh, dang.
Dang. Oh,
Dang it. All
dang.
right. Well,
Oh, dang.
we will be back in a few minutes. Get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, take a bio break, and then come right back here. And we're going to see what land of those two very weird things that we have built that Buick would like to make a character from. So, see you in a couple minutes. Welcome back from the break. It's real big. La 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 la. I just wrote that song
La.
right now.
Wow.
It was
You
incredible.
guys like it?
Yeah,
Yes,
it seems as if you've been working on it for a very long time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm impressed.
Great. Right before the break, we built a weird corporate sci-fi sort of terrifying world
Mhm.
called Synergy LLC.
Right.
Last week, we built a fairy tale dance gang world called Rhythm. And now we're going to build Buick's character. Where do you want to be from, my man?
I want to be from Synergy LLC.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Love that. The character creation process, not terribly difficult. So do you have D6s
I do.
at your disposal?
I do.
You are going to roll. Yep, just like that.
I got him.
I got him.
They were on the ground.
Got him.
Graceful.
You need 4d6, and you're going to roll them and drop the lowest number and then add them together. And you're going to do that 3 times. I'm hoping for a
That's fair.
real low number. I'm
Well,
hoping
I
for
mean,
like a couple of 18s and like a 4. That's what I'm.
you could tell the folks at home how good I am at rolling dice.
Yeah.
Buick manages to die in most games, even when death is
Mhm.
not an option. It's
Yeah,
very
I make
Life
it an
impressive.
finds a
option.
way.
I make
Life
it
finds
an
a way.
option.
That my highest die, I'm dropping the lowest, which is a 1.
Great.
I got a 3, a 3, and a 4. So
Okay.
that's
All right.
10. I'm going to do
All
that
right.
again.
Great. One more time. One more time.
I'm dropping the lowest, which was also a 1.
Whew.
So that's a 5, a 2, and a 2. That's a 9.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Not
All
bad.
right. All right.
Still right in the middle. That's
Last
good.
Gotta roll
time.
again.
Roll again.
I'm dropping the lowest, which was a 2. There
Oh.
we go.
Oh,
That's a 5, and a 4.
Ooh.
That's 14.
14. All right. So
Yeah,
now
not
you're
bad.
going to assign those in whatever order you would like to physical, mental, or social. I feel like they're fairly self-explanatory, but I am
Yep.
gonna go over them. Physical is all of your body stuff, athletics, flexible, nimble, how quick you are, all that stuff. It also determines how much health your hero has. Mental is how quick-witted you are, how wise, how intelligent, how educated, perceptive. It is generally also the attribute that you would use if you have magic, is mental. And then social is your charisma, your chutzpah, your moxie.
You're
Where did you put
savvy.
your savvy?
I did 14 physical, 9 mental, and
Hmm.
10 in social.
Great. Now we're gonna make your spirit and your health. Your health score, very easy. It is equal to your physical attribute.
Cool.
So you're
14.
you're a little beefy. You got 14 in your health.
I'm a beefy boy.
Beefy boy. And then your spirit is all 3 of those attributes added together.
Oh gosh, 24 plus 9, 33.
Great. And then
33.
your spirit is there are several things that you can do with your spirit. You can dig deep
Dig
to,
deep.
to help succeed if you have failed on a roll. You can
Mhm.
enhance one of your abilities, you can resist damage, or you could imbue an object with your spirit if you think maybe you're gonna kick the bucket.
Yeah, when I was looking over the book, I only read imbue because I thought that would be the only one that would be useful for me.
Absolutely. I'm gonna do it right at the beginning.
I was like, which one involves
Remember
death?
that.
Okay, that one. That's mine.
I
Yeah.
should know that one.
Yeah.
And now I think this is the fun part. in character creation. It's
The rest has been a
assigning,
real slog.
yeah,
Yeah.
so rough.
Oh, thank
Um,
goodness. I've
is
been having a
the
terrible
is
time.
assigning assets. So assets are all of the things that you can use to help your character. They can be very tangible things like an axe, or they can be something a little bit more esoteric like a winning smile. So you can
Mhm.
choose anything, literally anything. This is also where you would want to have, if you think your character has magic, this is where you would choose a magical domain. But you need to choose some die types for your starting assets. There are five
Yes.
options. I know you have the book. They're on the top of page 28, if you would like to look there. Um,
I'm on page 29.
um, Jeff, do you remember what you took?
I do. I took two D10s and a D4.
Okay, cool. And then AJ took a D10, two D6s, and a D4.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I know, I remember.
Oh, great. That
I
sounds
was,
really right then.
I was telling you. Um, but there's also an option to have one D8 and three D6s, a D12, a D8, and a D4, or a D8, two D6s, and two D4s.
I am going to do a D12, a D8, and a D4.
It is the one that I always do.
Yeah.
And then I always slap some kind of fancy magic in the D12. I'm like, this, and it's usually some sort of roguey.
No way, really?
Rogues for
Shocking.
life.
I am going to do, I think I'm going to avoid magic.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Uh, I'm going to start with my D8,
Okay.
uh, which I am going to put into my fisticuffs.
Ooh, nice.
Um, like a roll up my sleeves. If I could call it roll up my sleeves, that's what I would call it.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is really my fisticuffs. Um,
It's for chin and folk.
it's for chinning folk. Yeah, you
Mhm.
just give someone a good chinning.
Got it.
Um,
Love that.
my D12 ability, uh, I think I'm gonna say what I want it to be, and then I'm gonna hope that you understand it.
Okay.
Um,
Oh boy.
I'm gonna call it uh, turning turning around the chair and sitting down,
Yeah.
like a real talk
Yep.
situation.
Yep.
Um, so just like real talk is basically what it is. It's
Yeah.
let's get down to brass tacks. Like let's rap. Like I would say that's rap every time it happens.
Love
But
it.
I think I'm just gonna call it real talk. Like kind of just taking that thing going forward.
I like that you had such a long explanation, and I definitely could see in my head every time you wanted to tap that asset, just like saying that whole thing. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this asset.
absolutely. I'm gonna do
I'm gonna
turning
do
around the
the
chair,
turning around the
saying let's
chair,
rap,
sit
and
down,
then
let's
getting down to
rap.
some
It's
real
the real
talk. Yeah.
talk. This
Yeah,
is
I wrote all of those words down. It's really tough.
this is
Put it
perfect.
in the book. Take out a couple of extra pages.
Sitting here.
Yeah.
We got a page in the back that needed for printing, so we can just do the whole page.
Yeah,
It's true.
and I don't really know what to do for my D4 yet.
Okay.
Uh, so I might ask for the help of the players at the table.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what's going on in this world and what you think would be useful. I
Or could I
mean,
tell you a motivation of mine, and maybe we
yeah,
could find a
that
D4.
absolutely.
Uh, so I'm a father in this
Okay.
world. And I have a daughter who I'm very close with,
Who also
who
disappeared, who came with in the vanishing.
who also came with in the vanishing. I
Got
had
it.
like a mid-level office job, data entry. She has recently run away. Um, and we were very close, but
Mm,
she's in the angsty stage.
sure.
And I have gotten word that she's joined a dance gang.
Mm.
No,
Because I wanted her to work at Synergy LLC, but she only wanted to
obviously.
dance.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough.
Um,
I get it.
Obviously.
and I would have been completely supportive of that, but I was just so caught off guard when she told me
Sure.
it became a big fight, and then she ran away to join a dance gang.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I have my fisticuffs because I'm like I'll get down to brass tacks, but then I also have real talk because I'm
Yep,
a father,
yep, because you're dead.
so I
Okay,
the D4 I don't could
I
be
have a
something in
thought. I
there.
have a
Yeah,
thought.
love
And
it.
I think that you would be able to tap it when you have to deal with something that is like emotionally trying, like something that can like bolster you.
Yeah.
I think it's like a hand-drawn Father's Day card
Ooh, okay.
from your daughter.
It empowers me.
It gives you a little like
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
oomph.
Little
Yeah,
dad totem.
totally. Yeah.
Dad totem,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my D4 dad totem.
So whenever we travel, we bring little
Dude,
bits
little
from
travel
like
comforts.
we get one from each person in the family, and they're usually the same thing every time. So it reminds me of that the thing in Inception where you have something so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
remember
No, that's
what's
kind of what
real.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
your like anchor.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
I
I like
I
that.
tra
Dad
I
totem.
travel enough for work that my little travel comforts from the family just stay in my suitcase because
Totally.
like I just don't even give them
Permanent
back. I'm
fixture.
like, these are just they live here.
hmm
This is where they
Same with
live.
me. I'm at work for a whole day, so I have
Yeah.
all pictures in my locker, and that's I just sit in
Yeah.
front of that.
Oh, just so cute.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they're gonna be hand scrawled
Yeah.
Father's Day cards
Yeah. They some yeah. Soon.
from
Very soon.
your wife.
Yeah.
Scrawled.
Right.
Just
Stick
holding
figures.
my
Like
son's
this.
hand, making him
Yeah.
write it.
Write this.
I
It's
can see
for
Write
it.
your
it.
dad. You love him.
You love him. Show it.
Show it.
Show it.
So yeah, so I have a D12 of real talk, a D8 of fisticuffs, and a D4 dad totem.
Um, all right,
Great.
so now we're on to finishing touches, which is the name of your character and any details that you believe make them unique.
Well, I kind of think I told you my details there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mid-level data entry, dad, searching for my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mid-level dad entry.
mid-level data entry. Um,
Does this society have names or is it structured enough that you would have like numbers and stuff?
I was kind of just thinking about that, and I'm trying to go in very like Star Wars of like FN 2187, and then my
Mm-hmm.
name is Finn. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
think of something that works there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there's like we're in codes. So
Okay.
like they're numerical and alphabetical. So like they have all these
Mm.
things. Like it's just a coded entry. Because I think we'll make my daughter's name Sheila, but her name is SH3-LA.
Okay. Okay.
So she's Sheila. And then gosh, trying to think of a good. I made it more difficult by by saying
Right.
this.
By
Yeah,
establishing rules.
yeah.
I don't have any good suggestions to offer.
I
Good are you?
maybe high
Uh-oh.
quality television. We'll do M1T dash CH.
Mitch.
Mitch.
Got it.
That way we have the same value.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So we have established that your daughter Sheila has run off to Rhythm. Well, left the house
Mm-hmm.
with
To
the
go to
intention
rhythm.
of going to Rhythm, but did
Yeah,
have to go through the sentient forest to get there. So,
correct. Yeah. So I'm under the assumption that she went to join a dance gang because I've heard there I have to go through traffic to get to work, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
that's what I assume, but really I don't know. She's
but
just
who
run away.
knows? All right, cool. We have established all of our things. And
We
so
did it.
now, next time we meet, those two worlds are going to collide.
Yep. I'm sure that'll be
Well,
fine.
I'm sure,
yeah.
yeah, no, it'll be very chill, and there's
What
nothing
can go
creepy
wrong?
about either world, and there's nothing dangerous about either world.
They have a similar vibe.
They have a similar
Definitely.
creep factor, I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much.
Got
Um,
that.
so let's do our quick moments of gratitude, and then we're gonna chat a little bit more about the game. What happened today in this
Great.
world building process that was a especially cool moment for y'all?
Especially cool moment, eh?
Yes?
I got to participate in my extremely talented friend's show that I've adored for a long time and play and gush about my other extremely talented friend's world that he created in a beautiful book.
Just a gooey, you're like a little marshmallow today. Just like
That is, you know, that is me after every time we play though. Every
That
time we
it's
is
do
true.
true.
moments of gratitude, I am always just like, I just love you
I
guys.
just love it. It's just
I
so
had a great time.
great. It's
And
true.
if we didn't believe you, we would tell you we didn't
Yeah.
believe
Mhm.
you.
Oh
But
yeah,
I,
totally. Yeah.
I'd be like,
it's yeah,
lies.
yeah. Um, man, I just really loved going through this process with you guys. We do this kind of thing a lot just at our own table, but it's nice to be able to do this here as well and just
Mhm.
know that I can trust you guys with whatever ideas. I don't think we got too far out, like too far afield this time, but I know that wherever the path had taken me, I know that I could rely on the two of you to like make it work. So I really appreciate that.
Yay.
I gratitude that.
I, that
Mm.
is how you,
Gratitude received.
that's how you say that. I think that is correct. And then you,
I'm sending
yeah,
it. Yeah,
cool.
through the
Yeah, no, I
wires.
felt it. Yeah, I just I like when I get to be at a table where I don't have to. It's easier as a GM and facilitator to have to rein folk back than to try to like pull things out of them.
Mm,
And that
totally.
is not a problem here. I don't have to be like, and what's next? What did you look at the thing? Like, come on. um, yeah. All right. Well, so for the folks watching at home, because Buick is a part of our regular home game, he has played different incarnations of this game. He played it when it was just potentially going to be a setting for 5e. Actually, it's like where
Yeah,
our home game is set, and we sort of developed a bunch of things. Original hero of Riverside,
River Point.
River
River
Yes.
Point.
Point.
My bad.
Jeez.
Sorry, I'm very tired. Um, his he signed this book right here. It's
I
in there.
did.
It's in there.
Yep.
So what is it like for you to have adjusted from like just playing in the world as Jeff presented it to having it be like a realized game? Like what's going on in the noggin? I
Nothing.
broke I broke up.
No. Uh, no.
Ooh.
So, well, I think that's what's super interesting. I had my first impression of games with y'all was uh in the other room while my lovely wife played on Zoom with you guys. And I remember hearing your sessions before the Vanishing Lands. Well, I'm sure when the Vanishing Lands was thought about before you were playing in the Vanishing Lands in a way,
Hmm.
and just being like, ah, dang, that game sounds cool. There's a lot of
Hey,
cool stuff going on
that
in there.
sounds
Oh man,
fun.
that's really rad. And then asking Lauren to I was like, "Can I play? Can I do this? I really
You
want to
put in a
be
good word for me?
chill." Yeah, can you tell him I'm chill? I'm very chill. And then I sat at the table and was nothing but chill. Uh, but I remember the conversation that we had in session 0 about this world. And even though we were playing in 5e, um, I remember sitting down at the beginning, and Jeff and we've talked about this before, of like how we approach world building and playing in a very similar way, and just having moments of wanting to digest the entire world. Like, just I just wanted to consume it all.
Just want to eat
And
Mhm.
it.
yeah, and like having so much fun just like picking up everything in the first initial sessions, but also like feeling like I just want to get out there. I want to explore these things. I want to go from a land that's one thing to a land of another thing.
Yeah.
Um, I've always thought this, and I don't know if I've put this to words in front of the two of you before, that I think the Vanishing Lands is a world that has the energy of a kid playing with like a He-Man action figure and a Spider-Man action figure and making them come to battle,
Uh-huh.
but with like the
Like,
reverence of someone that has spent their entire life playing games and gives it so much credence and history and lore and a thoughtful energy to it. And as like I think most people who exist in this space and play games like this, when you play any game, you create your own kind of backstory, lore, history, uh, and it has that interconnected energy. So to have a game that's like designed around that entire concept is so fun and refreshing because it gives you this sense of freedom while also just letting you kind of have fun and just
yeah.
mess around if that's all you really want to do.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
rad.
Cool.
Great.
Closing thoughts.
Thank
Those
you.
are in summation. That's I had never put it in those words, but that's exactly the kind of like approach that I had with it. It was, I
Yeah.
was that kid growing up with all the different action figures. I had my
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles and I had my GI Joes and I had
Hmm.
my whatever else. And of course they're gonna come together and do whatever they're gonna do. But what
Yeah.
does that mean? Well, like, what is that world like then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the dorky thing. Most people just do that, but certain people and all the people here present just go, well, actually, a portal
Yeah.
opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have to be rules here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would he have gotten here otherwise?
Yep.
Of course.
That's where we are.
How did G.I. Joe get to the Batcave? Well, let
Yep.
me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Jeff, tell me a little bit more about your process. I know we talked about a little bit last week about like what you were excited about, what you were most proud of, but like,
Yeah.
um, what was like your particular challenges? Like, where was as you were going along?
The biggest one is one that you just hinted at a couple minutes ago. I had originally imagined this as just like a 5e setting guide. Like it was
Mm,
just going to be 20 pages and it was going to have some information. And as I got going, I started realizing that I wanted rules to do things that weren't natively in 5e. So it's like, well, let me just skin this in and let me just add this on. And pretty soon I had grafted on so many different pieces. I said,
hmm
this is either going to be way complicated or I can simplify it and make it its own thing. So that's what I opted to do. I said, I want all these things to be true about it, all the way that spirit works, the way that the world building works, but those mechanisms aren't really a part of 5e. Like spirit as like a meta currency does exist in various ways in 5e as well as in lots of other games,
Yeah.
but there's not like one overarching like this is always true for everybody, and that's kind of what I wanted to abstract it enough that everybody has the same experience.
hmm
I didn't what I was trying to avoid, and this was a bit of an obstacle too, was making it. I'm going to use 5e terms here just because I that's what's fresh in my head right now. But I'm thinking of like fighters having the points that they use that I forget what they're called. And then sorcerers having like
Action
sorcery
points.
points. Yeah, they have, you like spend certain points and you unlock them when you get to a certain level and you have extra ones as you get higher, and it's really like the way spell slots work, and that never really kind of jived with me too well either. So I wanted something that was just kind of simple and broadly applicable
Mm-hmm.
to everybody, but was still structured enough that you like felt like you had some control over it, because that's ultimately what it's about as a gameplay experience for the players. It should be about doing heroic thing, making the choice to do heroic things
Mm-hmm.
or not, but then that being your choice,
Right.
right?
We're deciding to let yourself not be a hero in that moment.
Yeah. You're not a hero because you failed a roll.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
It's because
not a
And
hero because you chose not to
because
be a
you
hero.
chose not to.
yeah.
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 And it adds to that kind of collaborative table experience where it's if you have your battle master points and you have your key points and those don't
Yeah.
necessarily correlate, or you're playing a wizard and you've always played a fighter and you don't really know. Whereas at the table of a Vanishing Lands game, you can kind of be like, how much spirit do you have? Oh, what's going on here? What do you have in terms of this? And
Yep.
because
Yeah.
I think some people could say that like, oh, it kind of waters things down so that stuff's so similar, but because you create your own assets and because you're existing in a world that you know the ins and out of, you have such a defined character sheet while it also can be understood by every single person at the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully. If you don't
Yeah.
understand
That's the hope.
other people's character sheets, then you don't understand yours. And then
Yeah.
that's a separate
Which
problem.
that's a different issue. Yeah.
It's
Right.
that's a thing. Um cool. Well, is there anything else that you guys want to chat about before we like wrap up? Anything else about the game itself or about like things that you are hoping for in our play session? Anything like that?
I hope to have a good time.
Ah.
I've been having a good time so far.
Yeah. It's
Um,
rad. And the book is rad.
Great.
love that.
It is. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could say more, but I've already said enough, I think, about how cool I think it is.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I hope, that we have a good time and can show a little bit about like how easy it is to have a good time with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, the cover kicks butt. It's very cool. Like in terms of like if you're window shopping and like they say don't judge a book by its cover, but like this one's very rad. Like because you look at it
Gotcha.
and you just go like, oh, that's adventurous. I can see that. But it's also very kind of obscured, mysterious. So you want to pick it up. Like you look at this book and you're like, I want to pick that up.
Wonder what's in
So
there.
do I tell you guys the secret now?
Tell him. Go ahead.
Those take look at that cover again.
Hmm.
Those are three of your D&D party. You notice how the one all the way on the right has a head that looks like it's on fire?
Oh, that's so true.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And the guy
That's
next to
right.
him is Percival.
Yeah.
And
Blue
you
magic.
can't really see it, but there is a person with a tail and like horns on the top of their head behind the word vanishing, I think.
Nice. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
original art, it's a lot more obvious, but
Yeah. No, totally.
there's
Right there. There and
a
there.
dragon type person back there.
Oh, cool.
It
So you
was
left my
hard to
character
fit.
out. That's
Yeah, it
awesome.
was hard to fit your characters
Yeah.
in because they're
Yeah. No, well, my
very
character's so
distinctive.
well, no,
He's there, he's in the shadows.
Sarah's character was so stealthy, so
Yeah.
she's
Well,
just invisible.
and you're
And my
in your
character's
baby
so
Bjorn.
small that you just can't see it.
Well,
Yeah,
I took you
absolutely.
with
Yeah.
me. You're in the
Yeah, in the
Bjorn.
Yeah.
And
baby Bjorn. Yeah.
when I was hiding, I was
You're
like,
behind the
Yeah.
monster.
yeah.
We're in there. We're
You-
in there for sure.
Sure. For those of you watching at home, Buick's halfling is 2'11",
Think so.
2 foot
Yeah.
11, something ridiculously
Very,
small.
very small.
Rolled.
And
That was a rolled stat. I mean,
yep,
I didn't pick it.
and I play a tabaxi, and we fight by he gets in his little baby Bjorn, and then I go into battle with him on there. It's got a quick release though.
A
Don't
favorite
worry.
trope is the
Yeah,
slap
it
it
has
and
to
It's
be.
drop.
just
My
ready to
chest
go.
is red after every play session because I'm smacking my chest so much.
I'm
Good.
out.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
out.
Mhm.
real good. It's real good. Um, yeah, and then so often I find reasons to either be in a Baby Bjorn or put other characters in a Baby Bjorn in
Yeah.
other games. It's just like a really good, like
Yeah.
better than the Yoda backpack, I
It's
think.
a
It's just
well-made travel
easier
system.
to,
Yeah. Just because everyone's present. You can see everyone at a glance,
Hmm
that's right. Yeah.
So
Also I am, go ahead.
the game that we created those characters for, it took place. It started in a location called River Point, which is in the book as well.
It's in
Um,
here.
yeah, the that initial adventure that we played, it was based around a specific location that has made it into the book as well. I did a lot of like
Yeah.
world building for that, so I thought it would be dumb not to include it. And a bunch of places that we've visited on our
Yeah,
adventures are actually
totally.
in the book
Yeah.
because we're playing in the Vanishing Lands, but we're playing D&D, and
Yeah.
we're getting. I've done a lot of. I've set things in certain towns because I knew I wanted to create those towns. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, if I take you guys there, it'll force me to think about it. So
Yeah. Then I have
it's
to do the work. Yeah.
yeah, it's been really helpful actually.
Yeah. It's very cool though because that whole section I feel like is just like a peek into our home table. So if anybody has ever been curious about what it would be like to play at Sarah's home table, like it's all in
Yeah,
there.
it's a good look.
Um, yeah, it's very cool. So this is an excellent segue into remind us where we can buy this book.
You can get it through my website, which is thevanishinglands.com. There is a print on demand hardcover version that you can find. There are separate buttons for buy print or buy PDF. The print one takes you to the POD service, and the digital one, you can get a PDF from Drive-Through RPG. So if you like to buy your stuff through there, you can do that and you'll get it, and it'll be great.
And you'll get it.
And
You'll
it'll be
get it.
great.
And it'll be great.
Hey.
Yep.
Um, Buick, where can we find you on the internet? Do you have anything coming up?
Uh, I have my fire department's open house soon,
Cool.
which you can all, which everyone's invited to.
Come on
Lovely.
out.
On socials, I'm J Keating 394. And on gaming platforms, I'm Parakeets,
Parakeets.
Parakeatz. You can find me in any of those places. Other than that, I'm just existing, having fun at your table. So
Hmm. And when we have gotten him a little bit more confident about the game that he is designing, I will tell you about it.
yes, when it has a title,
When it has a
I'll be
title,
I'll be I'll be able to share that. Yeah,
we'll get there. We will get there.
we will get there one
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Um, Jorf?
My name is Jeff Moore. I'm a film producer and a multimedia designer, and I make stuff. Game designer in this case. You can find me anywhere at The Vanishing Lands. Unless you're on Twitter, and then it's Lands Vanishing, but I don't really do much there, so you're better off just finding me literally everywhere else at The Vanishing Lands.
Great. And what do you have coming up?
I was about to say nothing, but that's not true.
That's wrong.
I have a couple sessions that I'm running at Gen Con this year in August. So if you would like to play, if you'd like to learn how to play the Vanishing Lands and do kind of what we just did here, where we do a land build and then we do a character build and then play a couple of quick encounters just so you can get a feel for what the game plays like. I've got those, I think, on Thursday and Friday of the con week. And then I'm also running the starter adventure that you can find in the book, called Escape from Arnon's Keep. I've made a couple tweaks for a con experience, but I ran a couple sessions last year and it went super well. So I'm bringing it back, and we're going to hopefully do a couple more this year. But there are still tickets available for all four of the events. if you go to thevanishinglands.com, you'll see a little banner. It says Gen Con events live. Click on that, and it's a pre-populated search for just my 4 events. So you can go through there and find it very quickly, or go to Gen Con's event catalog and search for the Vanishing Lands. You'll find it.
And next Friday, he is going to be on Table Takes for an interview at
Oh yeah,
3
that too.
2 p.m. Pacific is when it happens. Right here
Is
on
that when it
Gen Con
happens?
TV. Yep.
Great. I know when I get the email with the link,
He
I go
knows.
there.
He knows. It's fine.
I
When
will
I'm
know.
told to be there, I will be there.
Yeah,
What
I don't need to know yet, but I will know when I need to know.
next Friday.
Yeah, I'll be on Table Takes next week.
Also, hi, I'm Sarah Moore. You can find me all over the internet at Pixies and Pins. My website is pixiesandpins.com. You can find me here every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/GenConTV for Sarah's Table. And next week, we're going to continue our adventure in the Vanishing Lands. We are actually going to head into the lands this time instead of creating them. We've already done that. We've done this part, and now it's time for this part. Just, that's real. That's everybody knows what that means, and it's fine.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And then coming up, I am going to have an arc of The Crown, which is a game that I helped design. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 episodes. We're going to be doing that, and then right before Gen Con, I am running the Chaldea RPG the Friday right before Gen Con, and we're going to create something that we will then perform at Gen Con for Actoroki. So, speaking of Gen Con, I have Sarah's Table Live. There are still tickets available. We're gonna have some very cool special guests. It's Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Go grab your ticket. It's pretty cheap. I think it's like $4. Do it. Thank you, two of you, for being on my table and for
Thank you.
making such a weird, horrifying place for us to
Yeah, it
play
was
in next
scary.
week. It's gonna be good though.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
It's
good
gonna be
though.
like cozy horror because
Cozy
that's
horror.
what I
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as scary as I get.
It's
Spooky
just like
shadows.
it's an office. It's as
Yeah,
scary as an office is, you
it's
know?
yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be weird. I don't have to sleep with the light on. It's cool.
No, definitely not.
Nothing's weird. I'm not gonna just keep the rainbow on all night.
Yeah.
Should say nothing's
Well,
weird.
you should anyway.
Just in case. We'll just
Yeah.
and I'll make it go away. Thank you to Gen Con and Peter Atkinson for giving me this platform here for being able to highlight games that don't get a lot of eyeballs. And thank you to Marcus Mays, who is our tech over at Gen Con TV. I always thank my editor. He's here. Thank you so much, Jeff, for being my editor and making this pretty background that you're seeing with all of the cool moving parts and the laser eyes on the stuff and like
What is this?
the shooting stars and things that
And
you
the
have
flames
that you all
behind
saw.
me.
Yeah, all the flames.
Yeah. All the
Super cool.
flames.
Very
And the
super
cool
cool.
like swords that are gonna cross over when I say my name.
Yeah,
All
it
the
was
stuff that he's definitely gonna do.
he did all that and you all
Yep.
saw it and it was great.
Yeah.
Look at that
Yeah.
face. Look at that
Great.
mad face.
Thanks for
All right.
having me.
I might be sleeping on the couch. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yay.
No shadows out there.
Ooh.
Also, Jeff, thank you for creating this lovely game. It's real good. Everybody should go get it.
Once you get it.
And thank you to everybody at home who has hung out with us today. It is because you keep watching that I keep getting to do this. So don't stop because I have to keep doing this or I'll be
Yeah.
sad. Nobody wants me to be sad. Aren't we glad we
know.
had this talk? I'm glad. Anyway, what a spectacular sign off. As always, keep making art and keep being art. We will see you next time.